The Kennedy half dollar holds a unique and emotional place in the history of American coinage. It is not merely a piece of metal used for transactions, but a symbol of remembrance, national grief, political legacy, and changing monetary traditions in the United States. The journey of this coin begins, not in 1986, but more than 2 decades earlier, rooted in one of the most tragic events in American history: the assassination that changed U.S. coinage. At that time, the half dollar was already an established denomination, previously bearing the image of Benjamin Franklin. However, due to strong public sentiment and political momentum, the decision was made to replace Franklin with Kennedy. The U.S. Mint moved with unprecedented speed, and by early 1964, the first Kennedy half dollars were struck and released into circulation. Early years and silver composition. The original 1964 Kennedy half dollar was composed of 90% silver. Americans immediately began hoarding the coin, not because of its face value, but because of its emotional significance and intrinsic metal value. The coin rarely circulated as intended. Instead, it became a keepsake, stored away in drawers, safes, and collections. Between 1965 and 1970, the silver content was reduced to 40%, reflecting rising silver prices and changes in U.S. monetary policy. After 1970, silver was completely removed from circulating half dollars, and the coin transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition. Mistakenly believed it was no longer produced, when in fact millions were still being struck each year. The 1986 Kennedy half dollar. The year 1986 sits squarely in this transitional era. By this time, the Kennedy half dollar was largely absent from wallets and cash registers. However, the U.S. Mint continued to strike these coins for both circulation and collectors. The 1986 Kennedy half dollar was minted at 2 facilities: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark. No proof coins were issued from San Francisco for circulation in 1986, making business strikes the primary focus of this year. Design details. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. This design was created by sculptor Gilroy Roberts, who based the portrait on Kennedy's official presidential medal. The inscription "Liberty" arcs along the top, while "In God We Trust" appears beneath the chin. The date, 1986, is displayed at the bottom. The reverse depicts the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gass. It features an eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. Surrounding the seal are the words, "United States of America," and half dollar. This design remained consistent for decades, reinforcing the coin's identity and symbolic meaning. Metal composition and specifications. The 1986 Kennedy half dollar is composed of 75% copper, 25% nickel bonded over a pure copper core. While the 1986 Kennedy half dollar may appear ordinary at first glance, a deeper look reveals a world that most people never notice. Beneath its familiar design lies a hidden universe of minting errors, collector demand, and subtle details that can transform a coin into a valuable historical artifact. From everyday currency to a semi-forgotten denomination, banks rarely stocked it, cashiers seldom used it, and most Americans barely recognized it in circulation. This unusual status created a perfect environment for collector interest. Coins from this period were often saved in rolls, untouched and uncirculated. As a result, high-grade examples from 1986 are more common than heavily worn ones. Ironically, this abundance in good condition makes error coins an exceptional strikes stand out even more. Understanding mint errors. Mint errors occur during the coin production process. These mistakes are not intentional, and they are not all equal. Some are minor and barely noticeable, while others are dramatic and extremely rare. For the 1986 Kennedy $half, several types of errors have been documented and confirmed by collectors and grading services. Double die errors. One of the most desirable errors is the double die obverse DDO or double die reverse D. This happens when the coin die receives multiple misaligned impressions during manufacturing. On a 1986 Kennedy $half, doubling may appear on the word Liberty, the date 1986. In God We Trust. Eagle feathers on the reverse. These doubled details can often be seen under magnification and significantly increase the coin's value. Off-center strikes. Off-center strikes occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned during striking. The result is a design that is shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. Depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, off-center 1986. Kennedy $half can range from modest premiums to highly valuable collector pieces, especially if the date remains visible. Collectors highly value these anomalies, especially when combined with sharp details and minimal marks. Professional grading and condition. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. Coins graded by services such as PCGS or NGC receive a numerical grade based on preservation and strike quality. The psychological value. Beyond money, this coin carries emotional weight. It connects modern collectors to a pivotal moment in American history. Each coin represents continuity, proof that memory can be preserved through everyday objects. In a digital world, holding a physical coin tied to a real historical figure feels powerful and grounding. Final thoughts on Part 2. The 1986 Kennedy $half teaches an important lesson. Rarity is not always obvious. Sometimes value hides in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. Whether you are a collector, a content creator, or simply someone fascinated by history, this coin offers more than meets the eye.